map shows the travels of the Bnei Yisrael as they made their way from Mitzrayim to the land of Israel. Here, though, is your most direct route. In the end, we got there. But is this the way that you get to the land of Israel? Says the Baal Shem Tov, Eila Ma'aseh B'nai Yisrael. These are the travels of B'nai Yisrael. How do you read the Torah? Why in the present? Of course. Eila Ma'aseh B'nai Yisrael. These travels, these 42 travels, V'heim Eitzel Kol Echad V'yachad. They are everyone's travels. From the day of our birth, Omer Yotzei Mirecham Imal, he says, emerges from the womb of one's mother, which is Mitzrayim, until we get to the Eretz HaChaim Elyon, the upper living land. The 42 travels are our 42 travels, the stations in life, from beginning to end. Life begins and follows a pretty regular development. At 6 months, we are supposed to be able to do, and at 2 years, in the 3rd grade, we should have developed this skill, and so on. Our bodies grow, our minds develop, we become mature. But spiritually, as we get older, things seem to take a more circuitous route. It's inclines and declines. All we want to do is recline. Straightaways and curves, unexpected turns. Externally, sorrows, difficulties begin to happen. We find a job, we lose a job. We marry, God forbid, we're not married. We're healthy, we're sick, God forbid. Internally, we look inside. We begin to notice things we're not so proud of. We're disturbed by, bothered by. Why do I feel this way? Why do I have this characteristic? Are we getting closer or are we getting further? We're aging, but are we advancing? How do we read this map? Says the Baal Shem Tov, each place of the 42 stops aren't just places, occurrences, occasions of life. They're bechenos kedoshos umalos ramos. They are madregos. They are levels. Or at least they could be great spiritual levels. For Bnei Yisrael, each place in the desert held a potential ascending. How are we to read this map? Vertically, not horizontally. Not things we encounter, occasions we experience, but each one is a potential of aliyah, growth, going up. The Avodas Yisrael of Kuznets was a Talmud, a student of the great Chos of Lublin, the seer of Lublin. He says the 42 travels are also the travels of the Jewish people in their great journey of living. For the 42 stops, he says, are the 21 days and the 21 nights of the Bein HaMetzarim, the period we live in now, the 3 weeks. Are we getting closer, or are we getting further? One way to read the map, we're getting further. The temple was destroyed. His presence, the intimate space, was lost. And there's distance. We're far. On a simple reading, and the way we live it in the halacha, is we're sad. We contemplate that distance. We pull back from the pleasures we normally experience because we're further. Says the Maggid of Koznitz, that's only one way of reading it. In his external home, there's sadness, but in the inner place is only happiness. For he says, the servant of God must say to God, Atahu Malkeinu, you are our king. Me'olam, always. V'yachshav, and also now. You are a king forever. And we await your return of your presence. The other way to read it is we're actually closer. The great Bnei Yissaschar says, the great irony is that the moment of departure of two people who are close is their closest moment. You always feel closest, and the feelings of love emerge when you have to leave. That's this time. Says the Ramchal, Moshe Chaim Lutzato, in the grand scheme, in our movement toward redemption, are we getting closer? Are we getting further? Seemingly, we're getting further. Greater distance between us and God. The world is greater brokenness. But no, says he, in a hidden way, we're getting closer. But the way we live is often horizontal. The way we experience life is as it meets us, not vertically, seeing it for what it really is. Even the holy Baal Shem Tov experienced it that way. On his great journey to the land of Israel, that he so desperately sought, was unsuccessful. His boat capsized and he was marooned in the island. V'haya ba'atzos gedola, and he was in very great depression. Acheniga elav moro, until his master appeared to him in a vision. Umasmi elav, and was astounded at him. And he showed him how he was considered at that moment in heaven. And really, really, truly was. We have to see it in its vertical form. For every person who takes to heart living the spiritual life before God and taking that seriously, we are going up in every encounter we have. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said, he was never bested by anyone. except rare times, and once by a child. When he was seeking the way to the city, and he asked, "How do I get to the city?" The child responded, "Do you want the long, short way, or the short, long way?" He said, "Of course, I want the short, long way." He took that road. It was quick to get there. The obstacles barred him from entry. He came back and he took the long, short road. It was a long way, but it got him to his destination. That's the road that you and I are on. And living the 42 travels, the circuitous route of our life, the way we're supposed to get there. Each place we're going on. Each place we're elevating ourselves. That's the road that we're on.